Hi guys, welcome to DevOpsSchool. In this video tutorial, we are going to learn about Ansible network modules. Ansible network modules can configure your network state, test and validate existing network state, and discover and correct network configuration drift. After going through this tutorial, I promise you that the concept and understanding of Ansible will be absolutely clear to you. This series divided into multiple parts, therefore subscribe to the channel and follow the playlist.
But before that, let me ask you a few things. Are you dreaming of a career with higher pay and more responsibilities? Or are you ready to take your skills to the next level this year? Then start investing in DevOpsSchool certification level courses which will help you to emerge skills for a wide range of entry-level roles and as well as higher potential future positions. But with thousands of courses online and in classroom worldwide, finding the right one for your career goals can be difficult. You can consider our courses like Agile Developer, Agile QA, DevOps Certified Professionals, Site Reliability Engineering, DevSecOps, and Masters in DevOps Engineering, where you will have access to well-structured, easy-to-follow course content that has been developed and will be delivered by industry professionals. You can join on our training programs globally through online platforms, and if you are looking for classroom workshops, then we have regular sessions available in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Delhi NCR, Mumbai, and in Pune. Simply compare our many courses, find the one that suits your style and schedule best, and start today.
Why we all are working in software engineering? What is the objective? And when we look at our objective of being a software engineer, then simply we say we want to develop a software. Software is our objective, end objective. We want to develop a software, and for that maybe some of you are developer, some of you are from the QA analyst team, some of you are from operations, some of you are from architect team, but that's the end goal for all of us. Okay, now that's the one goal. But if we get into this software development, then we have a little bit other goals also. I mean, some additional goals also. So we have to develop a software, but we have to have a immediate release. That's the one objective. So yes, we have to develop a software, but we need to have an immediate release. This is the release should be very often, all the time. So every time when you see the organization, the management wants to have the frequent releases. That's one of the goal for the software development. Then also you want to reduce a cost. Reduce a cost in what? In terms of software development, in terms of software running. Okay, so we want to reduce the cost. Now third objective which I see is basically improving the quality of the software, improving the quality. And this is at the high level the objective which we always have received it. I remember when I started my career in 2004, at that time also these were the objective, and now also these are the objective for the organization, for all of the software engineering team. This is the objective. Now on this objective, if we go back and see that how we are doing the transition to achieve this objective. So I'll talk about the software development model. I would talk about software development architecture, and last one software development platform. Okay, so these are the keywords which typically we use in our software engineering. So what is the model you are following? So look at this here. If I remember what are the models which I have worked with. So here I remember I've started my career with waterfall model. Maybe before that there must be some model also applicable for the project, but I can remember only waterfall model right now very well. We have worked few years in waterfall model, and then we migrated to agile model. Now many of us, we have worked with agile model also. So the question is why we have migrated from waterfall model to agile model. And then the objectives were this: immediate release, reduction of the cost in development and running the software, and improving the quality of the software. And now we are from agile, we are going away and migrating to DevOps. Okay, probably next one would be DevSecOps, right? So this is the kind of evolution we are making just to address this objective. Okay, just to address this objective. Here, in terms of dev architecture, we have migrated from the monolithic, right? Then after that, we moved into SOA, service-oriented architecture, service-based architecture, right? SOA model, SOA architecture of the software. And then we are migrating towards the microservices. All because of having this immediate release, reduction of the cost, and improving the quality of the software. For this objective only, we are migrating from this architecture to this architecture, this architecture to this architecture. Now, if you look at this here, software development platform also has changed here. Earlier, we were running the application in a physical server, correct? Physical machines, physical hardware. Then we started running application in the virtual server. And then we are running the applications in the container. See how we are evolving. So now we are running application in the containers, which is for the immediate release, for reduction in the cost, improving the quality, and so on. And if you look at the consumption trend, this is also been changing actually. Okay, if you look at this here, earlier we were having the applications, we were using the application in the physical servers, let's say physical servers like let's say laptop, desktop, or desktop. And then now if you see here, we are using the software, consuming the software most of the time. If you are not a software developer, or maybe you're just a person like who's not needed any laptop and desktop, so most of us is using mobile, right? Mobile, right? So here when we had a laptop and desktop, the software which we were having, the software which we were consuming, we were installing in a distributed manner. That means let's say I need a MS Office, then I need to install in my laptop and my desktop. So that means if you need a MS Office, you need to install in your desktop and your laptop, so you can consume it. But because of now we are having very good internet connections, we all are connected with the internet, and we can browse the internet through the browser or mobile, then we are using the application central, right? That application which we are consuming is central, it's running at some place, maybe in a data center. So look at this, these are the change has happened over the period of few years, and this is how we have evolved through. And then this is as per the change in the domain. Let's say earlier we were not having internet, now we have internet. Earlier we were using distributed, we were consuming the application in a distributed manner, now we are using in a central. That means let's say I'm using WhatsApp, so we are connected to some server. You are using Facebook, we all are connected to the one particular server which is running your Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Gmail, Office 360. Nowadays you can code, you can build, you can test, you can deploy, you can run everything you can do in the cloud somewhere in a data center. So you don't need to have everything in your local. So this is the kind of world we are getting into that. So now if you ask me a reason why we are evolving, why we are migrating from agile to DevOps, and SOA to microservices, or virtual to container, and desktop to mobile, and distributed to central, this is the objective all the time. Maybe some new technology may come, and at that time also this will be the objective. So now the question is, this is the evolutions which we are having right now. The question is where Ansible is coming in all growth, correct? Where the Ansible we can use in this whole growth. So let's talk about what we do. So in a software development, this is the important one. This is the software development, what we do. So here, when I say we are using DevOps model, most of us may be practicing or maybe in a transition to the DevOps from Agile Dev. We are in the world of microservices. From SOA based architecture, we are trying to migrate to microservices. Okay, now in the virtualizations, from the virtualizations like VMwares and all stuff like that, we are trying to migrate to containers, Docker, Kubernetes, right? So where's the Ansible is coming in all the software development lifecycle? And for that, we need to understand where and all we can use Ansible for the software development. So let's get started. So here I have created one Excel sheet which will give you the little bit of visualization about where Ansible stands. Where Ansible stands. So if you look at this here, we do the planning sort of it about software planning, software development planning, which involves what the model is for good for us, what is the architecture which is good for us, what the platform it's good for us, where's our consumers, how we are going to publish this application software on all the related technologies. So we have all this planning at the conceptual level. Okay, now if you look at the operating system, probably you are using Linux most of the time. If you look at the virtualization platform, maybe VMware, VirtualBox, cloud, if you're using cloud, then AWS, containers, Docker. For planning and designing, we are using the tools like a Jira and Confluence. And let me tell you here, I'm not mentioning all the tools here. I'm just talking about one. There is a problem and there is one tool for it. There is a problem and there is a tool for it. So here, when you talk about the planning and designing, probably you are using Jira and Confluence, maybe programming through the different programming languages. Again, we have a versioning tool also we need it for the source code versioning. So we probably are using Git, GitHub, Bitbucket, many things. Then we do the static code analysis, right? So you write a code here, and then you do the analysis. Probably you are using SonarQube or some tools. Maybe you are using database, let's say MySQL or different kind of RDBMS is there, Oracle, MS SQL, Postgres, NoSQLs, also many NoSQLs are also there. Then we do the build management using Gradle, Maven, and then we do the package management also. Different kind of packages we generate in our organization. So we manage the packages. Maybe you acceptance testing, web application, different kind of acceptance testing, you do that. You do the security app runtime dashed also, like securing app runtime. So here, not only just developing a software, but you have to secure the software also, DevSecOps. So here, securing the software, code coverage, programming framework we have, web servers we have. And here, in terms of configuration management and deployment management, we are having Ansible. So the keyword which is coming in terms of problem, when we talk about Ansible, then we talk about configuration and deployment management. So this is the problem which you are having. So where Ansible is coming in all growth. So basically for configuration and deployment management. Let me complete this whole stuff. So yes, securing infrastructure and compliance, maybe in spec. I'm not saying Ceph in spec is another product. Okay. Again, unit testing, container orchestrations, Kubernetes, infrastructure coding, Terraform, Kubernetes package management, Helm, service mesh problems, Envoy microservices, meshing problem, okay, control planes, HTO, service discovery, console, maybe. There are so many products are there. CI, Jenkins, securing credentials, Vault, and RASP. Again, we have a few tools like Twistcock and Notary. Infrastructure monitoring, Datadog, Prometheus. Log monitoring, Splunk and ELK. Performance monitoring and RAM monitoring, we have a New Relic, App Dynamics, and stuff like that. For emergency ERT request and alerting and related stuff, PagerDuty, Slake. Security through logs, Splunk, SIEM, and then Elasticsearch. Cloud security and Grafana. So basically, in terms of software development, these are the problems. And for each and everything, there is a tools for it. So here, where the Ansible is coming in all this ecosystem is for the configuration and deployment management. So the question is, what is Ansible? We all say, so anyone who you ask, what is a Ansible? So we say Ansible is a configuration management tool. Now the question is, what is configuration management? Because I have no understanding about what is a configuration management. Configuration management of what? Room configuration management, AC configuration management, database configuration management, application configuration management, what exactly? Office configuration management, factory configuration management. What exactly you are talking about here? So Ansible is helping us for configuration management, but for what is a configuration management here when you are talking about Ansible? Because configuration management is a very, very broad word. So when we talk about Ansible, when we talk about the configuration management, then we talk about servers configuration management. Yes, that's true. Servers, the one, it can be your physical machines in your data center, or maybe pre-production environment, development environment, QA environment. It can be anywhere, or it can be virtual machines anywhere. So this is the servers which I'm talking about for physical machines, physical server, or VMs, virtual servers, virtual machine servers. So any servers which you have, now you want to manage the configuration. You want to manage the configuration of physical servers and virtual servers. Most of the time nowadays, virtual servers, it can be a private cloud, or public cloud. Now, when you say private cloud, let's say we are having VMware. When we say public cloud, maybe most of the time AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, and so on. So now the question is, okay, that's okay. You are talking about Ansible is a configuration management tool, and here you are talking about, when we talk about Ansible and when we talk about the configuration management, we are talking the servers configuration management. Servers configuration management. But the next question is, what is there in server? That's the question. What you find in the server? I'm not saying servers. Here is S, means multiple server, but here is just one server. What you can find? So you have to tell me what you can find in the server. The server may be Linux, maybe Windows, maybe physical server, maybe virtual server. So what you can find in the server? So just give me some help here. What do you find in the server? Tell me.
A user software, settings and
Package.
software.
Yep, software package. Can I call it package? Yep.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah. Also, settings of the server, like the IP address and hostname,
File system.
Yeah. So
configurations, files.
Everything is in file, right? Everything, no matter what you do in the server and in the physical machine, in the operating system, everything is in a file. So you find file, right? Anything else you find?
Resources like memory and CPU and that
Yes.
stuff.
Let's say memory, hard disk, CPU. Yes. What else?
Networking and NICs, network cards.
Yep. That's probably I can consider as a package, maybe. You may find directory, multiple directory, correct? Different structure of the directory. You may find services, correct? You may find user. You may find group, correct? You may find apt package manager. If you have Ubuntu, you may find yum if it is RHEL family or CentOS. You may find anything. You may find whatever you see that's there in the server. Yes, you know that. Nothing new topic here. So here you may find everything here in the server. So basically what you have in the server. So you have in a server hardware, software, people, and process. Okay. So here, what is a hardware? So probably can I keep it this in a hardware section? Here, hard disk, CPU, and sometime I do some spelling mistakes, so please ignore it. Probably because I'm just writing everything. So here, can I keep it file directory services in a software? Packages also. Can I keep it users and group into the people? Can I keep it this one in the software? You have a bash for Windows PowerShell, process, user policies basically, who should do what policies. So basically what you can find in the server, very simple thing, you can find these other things. So are you saying Ansible is a configuration management tool? When we talk about configuration management, then it is a server's configuration management. That means, are you saying Ansible is managing these resources? This is the resources in the server for multiple servers. So that is the reason configuration, we call it Ansible is a configuration management tool. Let's understand this way, simple. Ansible is a configuration management tool because it manages the configuration. What? These resources configuration in the servers at a multiple level, multiple servers. So we call it Ansible is a configuration management tool. Are you getting my points?
Yes.
Yes.
So this is the reason we call it Ansible is a configuration management tool, but configuration management for server. And what configuration management? What is the configuration? So here Ansible is a CM tool because it manages a configuration of resources. This is called resources of the server. Resources, configuration of the resources at parallel level for many servers. For many servers. Okay. So this is Ansible. This is Ansible. Now the question is, can Ansible manage the hardware? Is it possible? Do Ansible has the capability to manage the hardware? Answer is no. Ansible has no capability to manage a hardware, but Ansible has a capability to manage the software resources. So nowadays, if you look at this, we are in the world of not physical server. We are in the world of virtual servers and maybe containers. So who can manage the hardware in the world of virtualization? Software such as VMware, Xen, and vSphere, Hyper-V. So these are the software, and Ansible can manage the software. So now, if you talk about in the today's world, in the world of in the world of VM's server, everything about VM specification like a memory, hard disk, and CPU is in a file. It's in a file. So yes, Ansible can manage also a hardware, because Ansible can manage a software which can manage your hardware of your virtual machines. So indirectly, Ansible can manage your hardware as well, because Ansible can manage your VMware configurations or Hyper-V configurations or any files configuration very well. So yes, Ansible is a configuration management tool because it manages the resources of the server parallelly and very efficiently at the mass level. Make sense? So is that okay? Like, why we call it Ansible as a configuration management tool? Are we clear? Any confusion?
No. No.
Okay, so now next thing is, yes, it is a configuration management tool, but it is from Red Hat. That's the company who's driving this activity. Okay, now this is written in Python. Yes, so if you know a Python, then you are at the very good part. I mean, this tool will be helping you a lot in terms of customization. Though if you do, even though if you don't know Python, you can still use, but customization will be challenging for you. So yes, it's written in Python. Now they have a two release basically. One is a community release, we call it Ansible, and another release we call it Tower. In fact, you might be getting one more release, which they say AWX. Okay, so what is this Ansible? What is Ansible Tower? What is Ansible AWX? So when we call it Ansible, then basically it's a CMD, command line tool, and it is free. Yes, it is free. It is free. Now, when I say Ansible Tower, then not only you get a command line tool, but along with it, GUI, and it solves many problems for enterprises. Many problems. Now, what is the problems? What we have? What is the enterprise problem? Once we learn this one, then we'll come to know what are the enterprise problem we have. So we go for Ansible Tower. Okay, so yes, Ansible is command line tool. It's a free and community driven, whereas Ansible Tower is a CMD tool plus GUI, and it's for enterprises, and it's a paid. So I would say in simple way, maybe free for 10 server. That means only free for 10 server. If you have 11th server, you have to pay for it. That means if you want to do the configuration management for 10 server, you can enjoy this. If you have 11 server, you have to buy a license for it. So now the question is, what is AWX? So AWX is also having command line and GUI, but most latest code which is not tested. So in a simple word, if I say no production grade release for trial purpose, that's all. So AWX, they do release. So whichever the code, they have a most recent code, they release that as part of and named with AWX, which cannot be used for the production, but you can use for the learning purpose, for the trial purpose, and many more. By the way, you can use for this one also for trial purpose up to the 10 server. But if you want to enjoy the latest feature of AWX, and same time you have no requirement of getting supports and bug fixes, then you can use this one lifetime without any problem. But yes, Ansible, I mean Red Hat will not provide any official support for upgrade, for bug fixing, or for any issues whatever you get it. So are you okay with this release patterns of Ansible? Any questions, any doubts?
Nope.
Okay, so now guys, this is made of plugins concept. Now you understand the plugin concept. I'm damn sure about it. Nowadays, no matter, I mean, any software you use it, like say Maven, let's say Gradle, or Terraform, or any tools actually. Okay, any tools you use it, all comes with the plugin concept. Plugin concept means there are certain features which Red Hat will give you, and that they call it core plugin, correct? Core plugins. But yes, you can develop your own plugins if you want to extend the functionality of the tools and Ansible, and if you want to extend the functionality of software, and if that the plugin is not supported, is not available from the Red Hat, yes, you can write your own plugins. You can call it custom plugins or maybe community plugins. So you can develop your own plugins and community plugins also. So this is the based architecture. The software architecture is based on the plugins concept, and it's a wonderful concept. You know that you can extend the functionality of it. Okay, so yes, Ansible is a configuration management tool from the Red Hat, written in Python, has a different kind of releases, has a plugin concept, and have thousands of modules, have thousands of roles. Now the question is, what is a modules and what is the roles? I will talk about it. I will come back to this, okay, in some time. But this is powered by thousands of modules and thousands of roles. Okay, so at a high level, this is what is Ansible. Why we call it Ansible as a configuration management tool, we understand this. So now, what is completed? What is Ansible? So I believe if you have any questions, if you have any doubts, if you have any inputs to share, so I can learn also from you, please share, and we will have a discussion, and then we'll move on to the next topic, which is called Why Ansible. Okay, so any inputs from you? Anyone else?
Why Ansible?
Okay.
Yes, I'm going to come back on this topic. It's pending right now.
Okay.
What is Ansible? Any additional points you would like to add? Because I hear you in the introduction session, many of you are already have a working experience with Ansible. So probably if I missed out something, maybe we can share. And let me tell you here, we all are in the world of DevOps as a software development model. So, and DevOps, one of the model which states sharing with your team members and colleagues and the whole world. So any inputs from your side?
I think I'm fine with it.
Okay, so now the question is, why Ansible? Why Ansible? See, when I look at this list, I get crazy. And this is let me tell you, it's not a complete list. Still, initially I developed this page for my students 2 years 3 years before, let's say this page, and now I have developed this page, and it's only one tool out of which you may have a multiple tool for the same problem. Maybe your software is based out in the microservices. Maybe Java is there, Python is there, PHP is there, Ruby is there, .NET is there, microservices. Anyone can use any technology. So it may be a different tools will come followed by different technologies. So yes, you may have a different tools and technology. So again, we will ask these questions, and why we use Ansible. I understand that it's a configuration management tool and deployment management tool, but can't we do the managing these resources? Can't we use managing the resources of the server through the tool which is already existing? For example, shell scripting, managing a Linux server, shell scripting, or bash or PowerShell scripting. Can we use it? Yes, why not? Yes, we can use it. You want to manage the configuration of these resources. These are the resources. Let me tell you here. I must write it down. Resources of server. These are the resources. So can we manage the shell scripting or PowerShell scripting for these? Yes, we can do that. But let me tell you here. Can you use for Windows? Can you use for Linux? For all Windows, one PowerShell also has a different version. Understand this. 2.5, 2, 3.0. So all PowerShell script will work for all the Windows. Ask these questions. Shell scripting, will it work in the Windows? All Linux. So here we write Linux, which support for Ubuntu. Little bit different. Core is same, but many commands you will different. You know that Ubuntu and RHEL both has a different commands, different location, different behaviors, yum, apt, service, systemctl, and sometimes nowadays many people are trying to push the common tools for all the operating systems. So it's an initiative which is going on, still under the progress. Different location in the file. So yes, all one scripting might not work with all the Linux. Of course, it will not work for the Windows. One PowerShell scripting will not work for the Linux and not for all Windows. So we need platform independent tool. That's the first reason. Yes, shell scripting and PowerShell scripting is not helping us. So now when we go for the platform independent tool, then you must be thinking, okay, no problem. We can use Java. We can use .NET, C++, or .NET also maybe, or maybe Python, or maybe Perl, or maybe Ruby, or maybe any other languages. Why not? Because these are the platform independent. You can run anywhere. But the problem what we have here is, are they, let me tell you here, are they easy to learn? Understand that. Test, share, extend, debug. If I ask you, I have to have one Java programs, or Perl program, or Python program. Using that, I want to deploy certain packages to Windows, to Linux, all flavor of Linux, all flavor of Windows. I would give you this project to you. and I will say this is my requirement of deployment on configuration management. How much time would you take in Java, Python, Perl, or Ruby? Let's say you have no idea about Java. You're starting today only. So any idea how many days you will take to get this functionality done? Any idea? Any rough idea? Any rough idea?
We don't really have any developers here, so we're not going to be able to answer those development questions.
Okay, yeah. Just guesses. Maybe many of you are not a developer, but just guesses, because you must be working with the development team very well. So any guesses?
We don't really have any development teams here. We mainly just build systems for COTS applications.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not going to be able to answer your development question.
Okay. Yep. Okay. So I will just give you some idea. Let's say I may say, if I am in your place, I may say, okay, I would require 30 days for learning Java if I'm doing the Java project, and your requirements probably I'll take 60 days to complete. So altogether it's become a 90 days for us. So we are in the world of DevOps. Okay. One thing I would like to add before that. So I'm just cutting my topics here. And it's very important, I believe. I have no idea about what is the initiative which is running in your organization. And I know one thing is you guys are from platform as a service. So as a service is a very important keyword, right? Platform as a service. And here you might not do the development, but probably you might be hearing about this keyword called DevOps, or maybe SRE. So it's very important for operations. Let's say platform as a service, I consider as a SRE or operations, should have a very close relationship with the engineering team. And why? Because every organization wants to do this. So yes, you may not have the idea right now, but I would request you know to just spend some time, maybe after the training, know about why we are getting into the SRE or DevOps. For DevOps, probably I would like to share one video. Maybe you can watch it after this training, let's say after 5 days of the training, and probably it will help you. But again, Ansible is a kind of tool which is needed everywhere. It started from the QA environment. It started from the development environment. So yes, we need to know a little bit of it. So probably slowly we'll come to know, not immediately right away, but that's a called evolution in learnings. So I would request you later, I would share this notes with you. Please watch this video.
I'm just unmuting. If you want, you can mute yourself.
Hello everyone, good morning.
Hello. Yeah. So yeah, this is the one.
Can you put that link in the chat?
Yeah. So yeah, coming back to the topic here. So yes, I have shared this URL. Probably you can look at it in your flexible timing and just check it out. Why we are talking about DevOps means operations and development has to work together. The engineering team has to work together. Okay. So now here we were talking about why Ansible. So one of the reasons we are discussing about it, if you want to develop this software, if you want to develop this script for the deployment configuration management, then it might take 90 days. But let me tell you here, with Ansible, you just need 2 days. Yes, that means today we have a session and Monday we would have a session. At that second day, you should be able to do this, all this deployment management, and complete your assignment. So what I'm trying to say here is Ansible is easy to learn, test, share, extend, and debug compared to all these programs. Okay, so this is the one reason we need a platform independent tool. Ansible is easy to learn, test, share, extend, and debug compared to all other programming languages which you know. And one more reason I would like to give you, Ansible has capability to manage large servers, that means large config management, I would say like this, config management at a time. At a time means when I say larger servers configuration management at a time. You can say larger or multiple also, anything. So Java has no as such capability. It may have it, you have to develop it, you have to code it. Again, this 90 days will become a 200 days. So Ansible has a capability in easy way to manage your multiple servers configuration at a time, at one time. Okay, now one more feature I would like to tell you, Ansible is idiomatic. This is a very important feature nowadays, is coming in every tools. So guys, anyone would like to comment on this? What is idiomatic? How this is helping Ansible?
To watch our complete session, enroll for our premium membership. Click onto the join button and enroll yourself with the best suited option.
It means that it keeps the state. So if we run it again, it's not going to change what it is supposed to be, what is already configured. So you don't need to take in account the current status.
That's correct.
When creating the logic.
Yes, that's correct. You are 100% correct. So here, idiomatic means we are a human being. Understand that. You are a human being. We desire something. In what? In server. To be there, something should be there in the server. Let's say this package should be installed, this user should be deleted, this file should be modified, this directory should be created, this services should be stopped, started, whatever it is. We desire in something in server. Okay, tools should check first. The tool means the tool which is having the functionality which is called idiomatic, Ansible. Tool should check if exist. This means if desire is equal to actual. No change, do not change, because already this desire is matching. Whatever you wanted, that's there in the server. So if it is there, then no change. If desire is not matching, if desire is not matching with actual, then do changes. Now this capability, who is having? Ansible is having. Now, by the way, this capability nowadays you get in many tools. For example, Terraform, you have it, this one. Salt, you have it, this one. Chef, you have it. Puppet, you have it. Ceph Engine, you have it. CloudFormation, you have it. ARM, you have Azure Resource Management, you have it. So nowadays these features coming up inbuilt in most of the tools, and this feature we call it idiomatic. So how it impact your work? Let me tell you here. Let's say 10 steps, 10 things you want to do. Each steps will take 1 minute. So altogether, how much minute you will take? First deployment. This is the first deployment. This is the first deployment. 10 steps you have to do. You have to get it done. Each step should take 1 minute. So altogether it's 10 minutes. But second deployment, you have only 2 step changes, because only 2 modification has come. Remaining 8 modification is already there. Only 2 new things has come up. Maybe your package got changed only. Rest of the things is there. So now it will take 2 minutes. Each steps will take 1 minute. So ultimately, next deployment will take 2 minutes. See here, you are saving 8 minutes. Saving 8 minutes. So this 8 minutes you can spend anywhere else for the good quality programming, good testing, good infrastructure management, and anywhere else. Yes. So overall, these are the primary reasons we are opting for Ansible. Yes, it's a platform independent. Ansible is easy to learn, test, share, extend, and debug compared to all these languages. It has a capability to manage the larger multiple servers at a time. It is IDO important. Apart from that, there's a multiple functionality functional benefits. For example, reducing the cost, consistent server change management, of course. Okay. Improving a quality of the deployment, improving a quality of the deployment, saving time, all are interlinked with same objective, guys. Everything is linked with these three objectives. So guys, this is what I can recall when it comes for this why Ansible. If you have some additional inputs, please add it, so that way it will be helpful for all of us, and we'll get going. So any inputs you'd like to share, or any questions which you have, which you would like you would like me to clarify?
No, this is pretty clear to me.
Okay, so can I go ahead with the next topic, and that is how Ansible works. That's all. Some other words we can call it AKA, also known as Ansible architecture. How Ansible works, we need to know. Before that, I would like to name it some of the tools, respected tools, what we have in this category, and those are, of course, Ansible is a market leader. No one can, I mean, there's no tools which is closer to Ansible in this year 2020. I remember in 2018 Puppet was a market leader, but Ansible has replaced that in terms of usability. So everyone is using now Ansible, and it's not me saying, it's everyone. Based on that, I see that everyone is using Ansible, so I feel Ansible is a market leader. In fact, there's some publications also has happened in terms of rating and stuff like that. So yes, who's the second market leader? Puppet. Who's the third market leader? Chef. Who's the fourth one? Salt. And who's the fifth one? CF Engine. Okay, so this is my perception of placement in terms of ranking. You may have a different perception or different ranking. Again, it's very difficult sometimes, to name it 1, 2, 3, 4 like that, because it's a huge world right now. So many organizations, so many people are using it. So yes, these are the other tools. So if you do not like maybe Ansible, Puppet or Chef or Salt or CF Engine, any of these you may like, I can help you with Ansible, I can help you with the Puppet, I can help you with the Chef. So all these three tools I know. I have never worked with Salt and CF Engine, so I'm so sorry, I cannot help you. I know that some of you have worked with Salt, and maybe you are trying to migrate from Salt to Ansible. So yes, I cannot help you in Salt, but definitely I can help you in Ansible in all perspective. Any questions, guys?
Not so far, thank you.
I think we're good to go.
Okay, now let me tell you here, these are not the only tool which is available, because these are the popular tool, but many of us don't like programming. And trust me, I think someone said you are not from the development, but today, tomorrow, Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, you have to become a developer. Trust me on that. And we will become a developers together, and you won't find challenges becoming a developer. So yes, we will become a developer, but many people don't like coding, scripting, because Ansible, Puppet, Chef, Salt, CF Engine, without scripting, we cannot do anything. Yes, that's true. We cannot do anything. But many people hate scripting and coding. And for those people, you have a tools like Octopus Deploy. It's a GUI based tool. To be honest, here also, if you want to do the customization, you have to do the coding. But yes, it's a GUI based tool. Everything you can do through the drag and drop. You deploy from IBM. Octopus Deploy from Octopus. You deploy from IBM. There again, many tools are there, but it's not very popular. One more thing I would like to tell you here. These all deployment will do, let's say 100 deployments is there in a multiple deployments, like 100 servers you want to deploy. And I'll put it in this way. If one deployment, okay, one deployment takes 10 minutes. So with these tools, 100 deployment would take also 10 minutes, because you remember here, I said very clearly parallel deployment here. It has a ability to do the parallel deployments at multiple configuration management at a time. That means, yes, 100 or 1000 deployments it will do at a 10 minutes only. But always stick to this point, guys. Reduction, immediate release we want to save lots of time, cost, and quality also. And all these are interrelated. So here, it's taking 10 minutes. Now, next day, if someone comes up and say, no, let's say your manager is coming back and say, no, 10 minutes is too much. I want 1000 deployment in 1 second. Yes, I said 1 second. So what do you do? What you will do? Your manager is saying 10,000 deployment in 1 second. Then what you will do? Ansible is not capable of it. I said, let me remind you again, I said, one deployment is taking 10 minutes. 10,000 deployment is taking 10 minutes only using this tool. If you do manually, it will take many days actually. But now the change scenario is 10,000 deployments. I would like to get it done in 1 second, saving time, cost, improving quality, because you save time. You can spend those saved time to somewhere else to improving the quality of the software. So what do we do in this case? This tools is not helping us. Any inputs? I know that some of you must be knowing about it.
We pretend like we didn't read that email.
Yes. No, I mean,
maybe create 2 different Ansible masters or 3, I don't know, to handle the amount of deployments. Maybe just an idea.
No, that's not possible actually. As I said, one deployment 10 minutes, so 1000 deployment 10 minutes. Let's say here one deployment is 3 minutes, you reduced it to 3 minutes somehow. So here 10,000 deployment will become 3 minutes. Still, I want in 1 second. So probably what you can do, that's where the technology need to be changed. And this can be done very easily with the help of container, Docker, using Docker, and Kubernetes, using Docker and Kubernetes. Yes, that's the reality. So if you look at this here, my seat here, we are platform virtual machines, but same times you see here platform. somewhere top. This is the virtualization. So see here virtualization and here containerization, Docker. And orchestration of the Docker container is using the Kubernetes, which is see here container orchestration. So this we are, and because of this, because of Docker, because of Kubernetes, we are migrating towards the microservices in no time. Microservices. See here container, microservices. And in terms of model, DevOps or DevSecOps. When we were agile, we were on SOA and virtual machines. So everything is linked together, and the goal objective is always this one. So yes, it's possible to do that as well. Remember, if you want to learn Docker and Kubernetes, check out my video link again, same URL. You will find multiple tutorials of Docker and Kubernetes. It's one of the hot growing technology in 2019 and 2020. So you must learn, because you guys are in platform as a service, and this is a platform. I repeat, this is a platform. Docker is a platform. Kubernetes is a platform. Okay, to run containers and manage the containers. Now the question was how Ansible works. So yes, we need to understand that. So in Ansible, we have a one component which we call it human being. Okay, we interact with something for the configuration management for the large number of servers through Ansible control server. As name suggests, control. It control server. Control server. What? Which server? Ansible remote server. So yes, we control ACS. ACS control ARS. Here S, remember, that means ARS are multiple. So here this is me. I will work on ACS. I'm sorry, I'm not very good in graphics. ACS, and ACS parallelly will manage ARS. All these are servers, different server. This can be Windows, this can be Linux, this can be Windows 10, this can be Linux, Ubuntu, RHEL, different Linux, different Windows. So this is called ACS, this is called ARS. This is multiple, different kind of. So in architecture we have three components. This is you and me. Now ACS always has to be, and when I say Ansible control server, let me tell you here, I am teaching you, I am discussing with you about this one. Yes. So next 3 days we will spend time on the Ansible command line, because if you can do with the command line, GUI is just a matter of click. So we will do Tower 4th day of our training, but next 3 days we will explore every aspects of it with a command line. And GUI is damn simple, trust me on that. You won't spend too much of time on Tower if you have got comfortable with Ansible command line. So yes, so here ACS Tower is also we call ACS. Ansible, the one which control multiple servers, also we call it ACS. So this has to be always Linux 64-bit only in terms of server. Linux virtual machines, it has to be Linux 64-bit only. Specifically, it is RHEL family or Debian family? Mainly. Okay. Now, ARS can be anything here. It can be Windows, it can be any Linux, and any bit, that means 32-bit plus 64-bit. This is architecture. ACS has to be Linux, ARS has to be any operating system. Now, ACS.
So question, the ACS cannot be a Windows one, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Now, next thing is, in ACS, Python 2 plus X, let's say 7.5 or something like that, must be there. Okay. Here, Python, here it has to be there. Because I told you here very clearly, Ansible is written in Python. So yes, it will work with the Python. But if you look at any variant of Linux nowadays, any variant, you will get Python inbuilt. So you don't have to install it. But for the knowledge purpose, we need to know Ansible is written in Python, so Python need to be there in the machine of ACS. But it's anyways is coming default, so no need to worry about it. Now, if ARS is Windows, understand this, if ARS is Windows, then you need to have PowerShell 3.0, .NET 4.0, and WinRM. By the way, WinRM is coming by default nowadays from 2016 plus onwards. Before that, we have to install WinRM manually. Okay, this is the requirement for servers. In terms of Linux, if it ARS is in Linux, again 2.7.x plus, okay, plus SSH enabled. By the way, because I said in each Linux Python 2.7 plus .x coming by default, so no need to worry about it. SSH also coming by default, so no need to worry about it, but we need to understand that. So the question is, how ACS communicate with the Linux and ACS communicate with the Windows? Which protocol? So ACS connect to the Windows ARS using HTTP protocol. Yes, that's correct. HTTP protocol. ACS connect to Windows machine default with the HTTP protocol, whereas ACS connect with the Linux machine using SSH protocol. This we need to remember. Okay, HTTP and HTTPS using WinRM. SSH protocol, you know that SSH enabled in every Linux we have. So that's how they communicate with each other. This the protocol is very important. So guys, ACS, ARS. ACS has to be 64-bit only. ARS has to be can be any 32-bit, 64-bit, Windows, Linux. Python, which you find by default, but I must mention. Windows, these you find by default, but I must mention. ACS communicate with the Windows. That means ACS is Linux, so it's communicate with the Windows through HTTP protocol. ACS, SSH protocol. So this is the architecture of Ansible, which consists of ACS, Ansible control server, and Ansible remote server. Let me tell you here one more thing. Many people say Ansible is agentless. Now it's up to you and your perceptions to decide Ansible is agentless or not, because here I said very clearly Ansible on ACS is depend on Python, Ansible in ARS is depend on Python in Linux, and on this for Windows. Why we call it Ansible as agentless? Because of these all comes by default in Windows and Linux, and that's the reason we call it agentless. So it's up to you. You have to say whether it's agentless or not, but there are certain dependencies is there for sure. You can see that. So guys, this is how Ansible works. Through we communicate with ACS, ACS communicate with ARS, ACS has this properties, attributes, ARS has these attributes. Any questions, any doubts, any addition you would like to make? So we will complete this stuff.
Yeah, I just have one question. There you said that it's in Python 2.7. So once the Python 2 gets not used anymore because now there's a version 3 and they're not compatible, is there an update that we should be looking forward to, or would there be any complications with the modules?
Yes, that's a very good question, I must say. Let me tell you here, guys, this I wanted to cover a little bit later, but it's as you, because you have asked me, let me tell you here. Python 2.x is not a upgrade. I'm so sorry. I should say Python 3.x is not a upgrade of Python 2.x. So you think it's like a Java 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you think like that, no. Python 3.x is completely different software programming language than Python 2.x. And most of the functionality, let's say if you have written anything in the Python 2.x, will not work in a Python 3.x. Yes, I said correctly. Anything if you have written in Python 3.x will not work in the Python 2.x. So now the question is what to do? And answer is, for time being, the Ansible ACS, which I am talking about, is written in Python 2.x. Upgrade is in progress. Update is in progress. Probably I'll check one more time, because every week there is something which is coming up. So I'll check if something update has come up. But by default, if I see that last week only I have done the training in Hyderabad, from Hyderabad to Indian participants. So I see that that was applicable for 2.x. Now the question is module. Now here I said thousands of module. So if that module has been written, if module, now probably you might not understand this line. I mean, those who's very new to Ansible might not understand what I'm talking about, but I will try to explain you what is a module a little bit later. Just for this answering this question, I'm putting it. If module is written in 3.x, then you can change interpreter. You can change Python interpreter through Ansible. That is possible. How that is possible, I need to show you the demo. But yes, understand that it's very straightforward line. any module is written in 3.x will need Python 3. Any module which is written in Python 2.x will need Python 2.x. By default, 2.x comes by default in every Linux. If it is written in 3.x, you have to install it, you have to set it up. How? I can tell you. That answer is hidden in a behavioral parameter, and I will talk about that in further section. So is that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So now, still I did discuss about the anatomy of Ansible architecture and then how it works, but still I have not covered component of Ansible. Component of Ansible. So what are the component of Ansible? And basically I'm not talking about the Ansible anymore. I am talking about Ansible control server. In short, we call it ACS. So in from now onwards, I'm going to call it ACS. So please remember, when I call it ACS, when I call it ARS. So what are the components of ACS? So just a second. So when I call it a component of ACS, we have Ansible software installed. Yes, in ACS we install Ansible software. We do not install anything on ARS. Again, I'm repeating. And in ACS we install Ansible. We do not install anything on ARS. So the moment we install Ansible, and when I say Ansible again, please remember, I am talking about command line tool. Okay, so I am talking about the moment you install Ansible, you get modules, core modules, you get core plugins, because I said every functionality has been developed either in plugins or either in modules. Okay, now you get one more thing, and that is called Ansible configuration file. Okay, you get Ansible configuration file. This comes when you install Ansible. Now, what is a module? What is a plugins? What is a config file? I'm going to come back on it. Each and everything I will explain it, but this is what we get it. Now, human brings playbook roles. What is a playbook? What is the roles? I will talk about it, but for time being, ACS will have a playbook and roles brought by human, which you will be having in ACS, and we will have inventory. So human will create playbooks, roles, and inventory, whereas Ansible will bring, the moment you install the Ansible package, we will have a modules, plugins, and config file. So these are the components of Ansible: modules, plugins, configuration, playbook, inventory. How it works? I will again come back to this, because this question is not completed. Okay, how it works, not completed. Before that, I would like to tell you what is modules, what is plugin at high level, not everything in deep dive, because we will deep dive in each everything one by one. We have so many days. Slowly, what is config file? What is a playbook? And roles? and what is inventory. Okay, so now we will discuss about this stuff. Okay, so what is plugins? All functionality of Ansible comes from plugin. Simple. This is written in Python. For example, you use some software. Let's say you use some software like a Jenkins. It's written in Java. So Java jar files. It's like we call it in here in plugins. Okay. Maven software or any software which you write actually, because this nowadays software has been written in a plugin concept. So everything is all about the plugins. Any features you have are plugins. So this is the core plugins. Any feature you see in Ansible comes from plugins written in Python. So plugins is a feature of Ansible, core feature of Ansible. Right? Now you get modules also. But the question is, what is a module? Again, I'm saying we will deep dive into the modules, but because we are just discussing about how it works. So I'm talking about modules in a simple way. Each module would do one task. I said one task. Remember, it's just one task. Each module would do one task. Now the question is what you are talking about. What is a one task? So here, let's say I want to copy one task for one module for it. I do the delete file, one task for it. I install packages. I want to install packages in some server. It's a one task. So module is nothing but one task. One module, one task. 1000 module, 1000 task. Each module you have one implementation, one task. Copy, such as copy or delete or install or anything. It's a one task. Now this is also written in Python or PowerShell or any language. Remember, understand this. This is a module is doing one task such as copy, delete and install, but where? Understand that. Here, here, here in the ARS. So this one module will get running in this ARS. In this ARS. And that's the reason I said if module is written in Python, it will run in Linux efficiently. If the module is written in PowerShell, it will run in Windows efficiently. Or modules can be written in any language also. I don't want to complicate for time being. Be simple. Now this module runs in ARS. But before that, sent by ACS to ARS. That is the question. That's a thing. Here, module is lying here. I said module is lying here. See here. Module, I said it's in here. The programs is here. Programs is here. But it's sent to ARS parallelly to run it here. Storage is here. Running is here. So it's sent to ACS by ACS from ACS to ARS and run in ARS. So at a high level, I hope you have understood what is a module. Can we move on? Again, we will deep dive into each and every topics in detail, but did you understand at a high level?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Now the question is, what is a configuration file? config file basically is a file, simple, which control behavior of Ansible. Yes, I said Ansible, and this is executable. Ansible core, we call it Ansible core, which is a machine which is running the entire which is powered by plugins. So Ansible executable, it's a one major executable which you can, if you install it, you will find it. So which control the behavior of Ansible. So for example, if Ansible connected to, see, this is the executable here. So if Ansible connected to ARS, just a second, let me clean this image. Too much of, this is ACS and here ARS, right? So here it connects to Windows, then it should send the HTTP package. But if it connects to the Linux, it should send you the SSH object, SSH packet. So how this behavior of Ansible, or let's say how many machines at a time you should hit, 5 machines or 50 machines parallelly, how much machines parallel work you can do, or many behavior, hundreds of each. One by one I'll talk about it, but every behavior of Ansible you can control through config file. It's just a file. So what Ansible has done it, Ansible has wrote some default behavior of this, but you don't want that behavior, then you can modify configuration file. When I show you the demo, again I am going to show you each and everything. Where is the plugins, where is the module, where is the configuration file. At this time now, I'm just telling you at a high level. Okay, now the question is, what is a playbook and what is a role? Guys, playbook or roles is a program, Now again, who's writing this program? Human. You see, human write a program, playbook and roles. So probably some of you might be hating, but you have to become a developer in the next 2 to 3 days. Okay, it is a program. It is a program. But what kind of programs? I will come back. But important thing, which contains modules, which I talked about it here, which contains modules. So basically, in a simple way, let's say I'll put it in this here. This is the ARS machines. I want to do installing this package, deleting this file, modifying this file, starting this service, stopping this service, downloading this, cloning this, removing this. So these are modules. These modules has to be run here, but you will assemble at playbook level. So it's a program, it's a file, it's a program file which contain modules. So basically you write a playbook here. Remember, playbook is at which place? ACS. ACS send this playbook to each machines parallelly, and each machines, these playbooks, these tasks, these modules runs and get you the results. So who writes the playbook? We write a playbook and roles. We will learn what is a playbook in detail and stuff like that. For time being, it's just a program file which contains a module specification and not more. But I'm going to come back on this. Now, next question is, what is inventory? Inventory means inventory. Guys, ACS will communicate with ARS. Here, if you look at this, ACS will communicate with ARS. But in my data center, I may have a 500 machine, 5,000 machines. But I want to deploy in 10 machines only. So ACS should connect only to 10 machines, only red one, not the green one. I want to deploy only to the fixed machine. These are the IP addresses, you will be having it, or DNS name, fully qualified domain name, you'll be having it, where you are going to keep it. At a high level, I am telling you, inventory is anything. It can be, I'll come back to that. Inventory has a different format, but it contains important thing, list. Now, what is a list? I'm sure you must be knowing of IP addresses. So it contains list of IP addresses. For time being, I'm just telling you it's a file, but it may not be a file because there's a many form of inventory, I must tell you, but I will come back a little bit later, not to complicate now at initial stage. So yes, at a high level, inventory is a file. It may be a file. I must write down may be a file because it has a different definitions as well. So yes, it may be a file which contains list of IP addresses. Now, who create inventory? Human. Who create a playbook and roles? Human. What is a playbook contains? Modules. What is a modules? It's just a one work. Each module it's a one work. So here in a playbook, you write a 10 modules, it will do the 10 works. Where it runs? In ARS. Right? So ultimately how it works, I must tell you here one different image. Look at this. This is a ACS. When you install Ansible, you get module, you get inventory, you get configuration, you get Ansible executable. This is executable, okay? Executable. And Ansible has a powered by multiple plugins. So it's a software. So let's not talk about this one right now. Only consider Ansible. So what happens? There's a human which is coming up and connecting to these machines. So here he used Ansible and says, okay, this modules which is written in playbook run in this inventory. Inventory has a machine list of machines, and they create a package, process through configuration, change the behavior if anything required of the packet, create object, and send through SSH pipe or HTTP pipe to Linux and Windows, multiple Linux, multiple Windows, and each of these machines, these tasks, these modules runs sequence 1, 2, 3, 4, and send back the report completed to Ansible, and this is how it works. So this guy is doing parallel work, parallel execution in the multiple machines at a time. Are you getting my points? So did you understand how Ansible works?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do.
Okay guys, so now we have so much of time, plenty of time to deep dive into this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and all these topics. So yes, at high level, this is how Ansible works. So please remember, Ansible is a software which brings lots of executable, which will bring the executable also, and same time it will bring lots of modules, plugins, config files. We human brings the playbooks, roles. In the playbooks and role, put it lots of modules and run on this inventory, and Ansible, which is executable, this sends all these module playbook or roles to each and every machine through SSH and HTTPS parallelly and run it and get the response, and I get to know whether it's got pass or fail. I hope it is clear.
Yes, it is.
It is.
Okay guys, so I think I need a break, so I have to look at the timing. It's 9 p.m. so yes, this is the exact time I'm getting a break because I need badly. So yes, this is the break time for 15 minutes. Please grab your tea, coffee, and restroom if it is. And we will be back in 15 minutes. And then I will talk about next topic, which I will be having less discussion, more demo sort of it. Less discussion and more demo sort of it. And which will deep dive into each and everything one by one.
If you liked our Ansible session so far, please enroll for our channel membership $3.99 plan to get access of all the parts. Along with that, you can access our other tutorials such as Docker, Ansible, Jenkins, Terraform, Splunk, AWS, Azure, and various other DevOps related premium tutorials with our channel membership. If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@DevOpsSchool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the $3.99 plan and grow your skills immensely. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Thanks for watching.